All right, hello, my wonderful students. This is the last part of Foldable number 3. For this one, we have two problems for you guys. Last two for this Foldable, anyways. The first one we have is the fourth root of 243 times k cubed divided by 3k to the 7th. All right, so for this one, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try to get this one out here. We have, let's do it in red, just so it's out of the way. It's a different color. We have 243. We got to try to separate that into its primes. I know it's divisible by 3 because 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 3 is 9. They add up to a number that is divisible by 3, so I know it's divisible by 3. Ends up being 81. Then I can break down 81 as 9 times 9. I can break down 9 as 3 times 3 and 9 as 3 times 3 as well. Because this is a fourth root, I want to make sure I have 4 copies of at least of 1, and I do. So this ends up being equal to the fourth root of 3 to the 4th power and our last 3 here times 3. And we're just going to go ahead and add on our k to the 3rd power. The only thing that can really simplify out is our 3 here. And these two are just going to stay inside. But we can't forget that we're actually dividing by 3k to the 7th as well. Okay, so because of that, now I'm just going to separate them. So I have my fourth root of 3 to the 4th, which is going to come out, times my fourth root of 3k cubed, which cannot come out, divided by my 3k to the 7th. This is going to be equal to the 3 is going to come out, so it's going to be 3 times the fourth root of 3k to the 3rd divided by 3k to the 7th. Now we have a common factor here. We have our common thing here. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so that gets rid of that, leaving us just with the fourth root of 3k cubed divided by k to the 7th. Okay. Last one for this one here is our 162a the square root of 162a divided by 6a cubed. All right, so for this one, we're going to go ahead and get this, the 162, we kind of got to separate that. Well, this one's kind of easy because it's 16 and 2, so I know it's 2 times 81. So 162 is 81 times 2. And the same thing what we did over here is going to be similar. So this is going to be 9 times 9, and then 3 times 3, and 3 times 3. But this one we don't have fourth root like we did over here. We have square root, so we're going to need the 2 pairs of 3's. So this is actually going to be the square root of 3 squared times 3 squared times our last 2. And then we have our a, and we're going to divide that by, and we're going to separate these as well. We have our 6 can be separated as 3 times 2. So we have our 3 times our 2. And then we have our a cubed. We're going to actually separate that into an a squared times our a, because a squared can come out. A can't, but a squared can't. So we're going to have times our a squared times our a. But before we do any of that, we're actually going to simplify out some of the things. We're not going to mess with this here because these can come out. So we're not going to mess with these. But I do see that they do have a 2 in common, which can be reduced, and they both have an a in common, which can be reduced. I know they have 3's in common as well, but we want to have that there so it can come out. So we're going to go ahead and leave that there. So now we're going to go ahead and separate what's left and leave it as things that can come out versus things that cannot. So we have our square root of 3 squared times 3 squared divided by our a squared times our square root of 1 over 3. So it's just a 3 in the bottom that cannot come out, but I can't just put a 3 and it be okay. So because these here, if I do a times 1 here, this would be the one that goes here for the 1/3. Okay, so this comes out as 3 times 3 over a, which ends up being 9 over a, times radical 1 over 3, which is equal to 9 over a, 1 over 3. So this has our final answer for this part, because we haven't learned the next part, which is rationalizing the denominator, which is what we would have to do for here, because you can't have a radical in the denominator. See, none of these, I don't know if you guys noticed, but none of the other ones did. But this is going to be covered in the next foldable, so I'm not really going to be worried about it now, but just know that as of this point, anything past this would be a no-no.